Hey YouTube, Turd Ferguson 83 here. A few thoughts about this old shotgun here. This is a Franchi AL-48. My father bought this used in the 60s and has been well used since then, but well taken care of also. They still manufacture these, I believe, in 12 and 20 gauge. There might be some other gauges, not sure, but I know for sure they still make them in 12 and 20. They've sold a lot of these over the years. Now it is an old Browning recoiling barrel design. Notice here, looks a lot like a Browning Humpback. It operates almost exactly like it with a few minor changes on the mechanism. Now, that being said, that there are a lot of these that have been sold. There's a lot of them laying around in farmhouses, different places around America. So you'd think, well, so there's probably a lot of people using these for home defense. I don't like these for home defense. Number one, it is extremely light, which is handy. It's alloy receiver, fairly thin barrel. The wood is actually pretty light, it's not super high grade type of thing. Problem is, it's recoiling barrel design and the lightweight receiver, and the overall very lightweight. Even in 20 gauge, this thing is snappy, just snappy like crazy. It's got an old, probably Bakelite style butt cap right here. You could put a big, thick recoil pad on here and help out a lot, but it's still going to recoil. It's still going to really get you off target after every shot. I don't like that. Seems like, a good steel receivered, heavy barreled, pump action 12 or 20 gauge. To me, it actually seems like it recoils less. People say semi-autos soak up recoil. Well, they can, but I think with this design, it really actually adds to it, makes it more unmanageable. As you can see, that little bit of slow-mo footage, this whole barrel comes back, it pushes on the bolt, it pushes the bolt through its travel, you extract, new round comes in, and the bolt forces that home. Of course, the barrel is way ahead of the bolt, it's moving faster. So it's back in place, new round goes in, and you're ready to fire. But this whole barrel coming back, it doesn't just sort of gently float through its travel. It comes all the way back and then wham, right there. It stops dead. And all that inertia is transferred into the force into your shoulder. I've put a lot of rounds through this gun. It's only rated for 2 3/4 inch shells. And I've only ran just your different types of birdshot through it. And it's snappy for a 20 gauge. In your shoulder when you fired this thing. The other thing I do not like about it for home defense is this button right here. See that button? What that button does, it releases your bolt when it's held in its rearward position, and it also operates your loading gate here, this elevator. This will not go in until you push that button. Then you can put, another 2 rounds into your magazine tube. It doesn't seem like too big of a deal, but there's so many annoying things about it that I do not like it. There's been a lot of times, this happened more than once, I have had my fingers pinched inside of this receiver because that button is really sensitive. It doesn't grab much of that bolt, doesn't grab much of it at all. And just brushing it against yourself, against anything, and wham, that thing goes home, goes into battery. So it's really annoying, especially if you get into an odd position. You never know. You could be crouching behind something, trying to get into a different position, anything. Maybe you have body armor and other things. A lot of people do nowadays, next to their bed with their chosen home defense weapon, their loadout, basically. So I do not like that. If it only operated the bolt and didn't block this loading gate and elevator from operating, yeah, maybe. That might be better. But still, don't like it at all. So the Franchi 48 AL, great gun. Gonna go quail hunting, love it. It's an awesome, awesome weapon. And it is a timeless weapon. There's a reason they still make these, and there's a reason John Browning was such a genius. But for home defense, no, stick to pump actions, I think. Much more simple, and you have much more control over how you operate the weapon. So, overall, great gun to have. It's nice, it's good to talk about, take out, mess around with, look at, but I wouldn't trust it to defend my home. Unless this is all I have, then yes, maybe. Well, not maybe. If this is all I had, I would be defending my home with this. But that's a different argument. The gun you have is the best, or the gun you have is only adequate up to its own capabilities. People argue about that all the time. I'm not going to get into it, but like I said, it's nice to have around, not for defending a home.